Midnight Soul Serum.
Welcome back to Midnight Soul Serum. I'm Mac Black, and sorry that it's been a while. It's just good to be back on here, be able to do a show. Of course, we had hoped to be doing more shows before this one. So the title of this one is my first time seeing a UFO, which I'm going to describe it, the events that were taking place and everything. But before I get into that, I did want to talk about some of the things that discourage people from telling their stories. Of course, I'm in numerous UFO groups and paranormal groups, and as such, Bigfoot groups that I follow on Facebook. And recently, coming back from the gym, me and my wife had an experience, and I don't want to go too far into it because I'm going to bring it up on a later show. But when I went to discuss it on one of these groups, I had a guy on there that was pretty much just saying everything I said was bullshit, for the simple fact that I didn't have pictures or video. Now, mind you, at the time when these things happen in your life, there's a lot of times that you're not thinking about trying to pull out your camera, pull out your cell phone. You're caught up in the moment. You're trying to process what it is that your eyes are seeing. So even in the story as itself, I was trying to drive to a location to be able to get the video and pictures that this thing deserved. So I'm gonna stop right there. I'm not gonna dwell on that because I am gonna bring that up on another show. So with that being said, sometimes people have experiences, and the reason they don't share them is because so many non-believers or so many skeptics out there who haven't had their own experience want to see physical proof. Hey, I'm here to tell you, my cell phone's in my pocket at all times. But when I see something, that doesn't mean that I automatically take it out to take a picture or a video of what I'm trying to rationalize and process that's unfolding in front of me. That's human nature. It doesn't, you don't walk around with your cell phone on video just waiting, because it doesn't happen. I mean, how many shows have you seen to where these guys sit out all night long waiting for a UFO or something they can't explain? How many times have you seen them do it and there's nothing? These guys go through hours, months, days, years of sitting out there, and they catch very few glimpses of what they can at the time. And it's just, to the people that sit out there and discourage people like that because you haven't had your own experience, I just hope that when you do have your experience, whether it be a UFO, paranormal, Bigfoot, or whatever experience you are able to survive from, if you don't have your camera or cell phone on you and you try to tell somebody about your experience, I hope you don't run into somebody who is an asshole like you. Alright, so enough on that. I'm not going to dwell on that asshole from Canada that had so much to say about my story. We're going to move on. So, my first time seeing a UFO, I was brought up in a church home, raised Church of Christ, Sunday morning service, Sunday evening service, Wednesday night devotional. So on this particular Wednesday night, Jacksonville, Arkansas, the service is over. It's maybe about 8:45, and as always, you get done with the devotion, the parents sit out there and they talk and they talk and they talk. So as kids, you just play with the other kids in the church, and one of the things with us was we would always play football in front of the church. So we're sitting there, we're playing football, and for one, it's extremely too dark for us to be playing football, but there's worse things we could have been doing. So as the guy kicks the football up in the air, and we all look up to see it. The football, nobody's looking for the football anymore. In the direction we're looking, which is actually going to be, I believe it was west at the time, looking west towards Little Rock Air Force Base. Imagine, if you can, this object that's about the size of a ruler that's coming down in a vertical sense, but it is broken up into 4 rectangles. And the color, if I had to describe the color, it would be like almost like a neon green, almost like that of a glow stick. And as you're watching this thing descend above Little Rock Air Force Base, it's like you're still processing it. Even as a kid, I think at the time I was like 7th or 8th grade. So I'm watching this thing just descend, and it's coming down, and the other kids are watching it. And of course there's people that are like, oh, it was a meteorite, it was a comet, it was this, blah blah blah. As it descends, it abruptly stops and makes a hard 90-degree turn, that of a right triangle. And when it does, the object flips from vertical to horizontal, and in like less than 3 seconds, it's gone out of sight. It just shoots off to the north. So when this happens, it's just like silence. Nobody's playing football anymore. Everybody's just kind of looking at each other, and nobody really knows what to say. Mind you, you have to remember where we are. We've just finished devotional from church. So, you've got people in the church that don't necessarily believe in things like this. I was always told that we were naive to believe that God would stop creating beings just because he did Earth. To be that naive to think that there is not life out there in the universe, to think that you are the only life in the universe, is a naive concept. And I was always told that, and I was brought up that way. My family, my grandparents, they had their own experiences. So at this point, I kept it to myself. I didn't want to say anything to anybody. I didn't know how to bring it up. So everybody goes, we get home, and I did talk to somebody about it who did confirm that there were multiple calls and reports that happened on this day, on that night, about the incident. And it was interesting. At the time, my pops, he worked air traffic control. So, of course, there's people that called the tower. There's people that called Jacksonville police. This thing, it wasn't even actually over Jacksonville. The calls came in from Russellville, Conway. So it was something that was seen by multiple people, yet there was no video or camera evidence. So, just because you don't have a picture of it doesn't mean it didn't happen. But that was my very first time seeing a UFO, seeing something I could not explain, and seeing it come down at the rate it was coming to make a hard 90-degree turn and just turn and disappear out of sight. It was quite a sight to see. I'm a little bit dated, so this is back in the days before drones. You didn't have drones, and to be able to replicate that movement, the intensity of the light, and that speed, it was just unheard of. And that was my very first time seeing a UFO. And so, as I told you, it's been slow going, trying to get people to not be afraid to submit their stories or experiences and pictures. However, we do have a guy from Oklahoma. He is a friend of mine that had an experience on March 17, 2019. He was driving in his truck, and he tried his best to get pictures of this thing that he sees while he's driving. That, you know, it's him and I've talked about this numerous times, and I finally got him to send me the pictures, and I'm gonna try to describe this to you. I am gonna upload the pictures on the YouTube channel that goes along. It's the same name, Midnight Soul Serum. You can look it up on YouTube, and I will have the pictures on there with this podcast. But it's your typical saucer shape with a little round, almost like a nipple off of a baby cup. But it is so, it's got this look of translucence, almost like it's a distorted bubble or something. It almost looks like, you know, it could be, it just has a translucent mirror-like look, like you could see through it, yet you can see it is a solid object. And he sent me 4 pictures because as he's not really too much into things like this, you know, paranormal, yeah, he can talk to you about paranormal all day, but UFOs, that's a little bit different for him. So as he took pictures of this and zoomed in, he sent it to me and another friend of ours. We'll just call him Monster because he knows all about this too, and I'm sure he's, like I said, he'll be a guest on the show here soon with his own experiences. I don't have any words for it. All I can do is upload the pictures, like I said, on the YouTube video of the, like I said, Midnight Soul Serum at YouTube. So when you go on there, you'll be able to look at it, and you'll be able to see for yourself. It's just something that there's no explanation of. And this was near, I believe he said, Manford, Oklahoma. I got a very short audio clip from him, and when I say very short, it's very short. So this is James from Oklahoma, and this is his audio clip.
I saw this shit about 7 o'clock in the morning, right past Manford, Oklahoma.
And that's all he says. So that lets you know right there. It's like when you see something and you've experienced something that you don't know how else to describe it, that's how it comes across. It's just like, you know, anytime we talk about it, he's like, I don't know what that shit was. I saw that shit, this shit. For him, he doesn't smile when he talks about it. You know, everybody has different reactions. It's like some people have had so many experiences that when they have one, or that somebody else has one with them, they are happy that person's able to experience the same thing. But everybody's not ready to experience certain things in life, and as you heard in his very short audio clip, that's what he that's kind of what he gives off. You know, he doesn't start questioning it or saying, well, I thought maybe it was this or that. That was it. And knowing James, you're not going to get much more than that. You know, he's a very private individual. He's a very suspicious individual as far as people asking him or knowing things about his private life. But I get it, because I am too, to an extent. But as far as going out on a podcast or a program like this, talking about the things we talk about, being able to get these pictures and just that audio clip from him with the date that it happened it means a lot. So hopefully, like I said, you guys can go look this up and see for yourself the pictures that I'm going to upload to YouTube. Have your own thoughts about it. I think I got like 5 subscriptions on YouTube, so to the 5 of y'all, appreciate it. Thank you, big shout out. You know, I don't have investors. The things we do come out of our own pocket here. I do want to eventually begin to go to areas to investigate and see things, you know, whether it's Bigfoot, whether it's paranormal, whether it's UFOs, you know. It's just, and like I said, that's not all the show is about. You know, the whole thing about polygamy, weed, LSD, mushrooms, Masonic things. There's a wide range of topics and interests that go along with this page. And with that being said, you don't have to send pics of your experiences with polygamy or being in threesomes. You may just want to talk about your experience, or you might share some enlightenment with some other people. You might want to talk about, weed. It doesn't mean you have to show me the pictures of the weed that you're growing at home, because I don't care. But you may have some tips. You may have some remedies for other people who's trying to reach the stage that you are, and they've got some roadblocks. And like I said, when you do things like that, you can stay completely anonymous. You can give me a fake name. As long as you use any fake name but my name, I don't care. So, with that being said, we're going to make maximum effort to get this thing going, to be able to do more than one episode a month. Like I said, I would like to be at the point to where we do at a minimum one episode a week. So with that being said, everybody out there, if you've had paranormal experiences as a child, if you're currently having paranormal experiences, anything that you've seen or saw or have pictures of or video that you may not even have a clue what it is, you may not know what it is. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're not here to discourage, belittle, make fun of, any of that. We just all want, at the end of the day, the only thing anybody wants is the truth. I'm not gonna go through and be editing and doing all this, because this is in the moment. I don't pre-record shows. So if I get stumbled or lose track, or you hear this silent pause like I'm taking a drink, because I probably am, or something else, then that's just what it is with the show. Hope you guys enjoy listening. I appreciate you. I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, this is Mac Black, Midnight Soul Serum. And because I completely had a lapse of memory there for a moment, please remember that you can send your photos, links, and stories to midnightsoulserum@gmail.com. You can also watch the show on YouTube, Midnight Soul Serum, the same name. You guys be safe out there until the next time.